All right, what's up, everybody? Brian here, and this is my Impact Wrestling review for last night's episode. Of course, last night's episode was the Genesis episode of Impact, so let's get right into it. My overall thought on this episode last night was that I thought it was actually a pretty good episode. A lot of great action, a couple of good matches. We saw a title change. We saw, hopefully, is the end of a storyline that has been going on for months. So let's just get right into the review. We started off with the Impact Grand Championship on the line as EC3 defended against Matt Sydal in a regular match. No judges, no rounds, just one-on-one, 60-minute time limit, and that is the kind of match that Matt Sydal had been asking for. He finally got it. So this matchup did not disappoint. Both of these guys put on a very solid matchup, in my opinion. A lot of great action in this one. You know, Matt Sydal came out of the box early in the match, started dominating, and EC3 got the advantage, and a lot of back and forth, a lot of action. It looked like EC3 was going to finish off Matt Sydal with a top rope move. Sydal countered into a power bomb, and then went back up to the top and hit his shooting star press on EC3, and that was enough to keep EC3 down for the 1-2-3, as we have a new Impact Grand Champion in Matt Sydal, and what was, I thought, a pretty solid matchup between two great athletes. My only problem with this match, even though it was a great matchup, it was a solid match, the only problem I had was after the match, or even was the commentary after this matchup, when they were, talking about Matt Sydal becoming new X Division champion, or not new X Division champion, Impact Grand Champion. There was no what's the word? There was no enthusiasm in that when they did in the commentary. It was like, oh, Matt Sydal has become the new Impact Grand Champion. It was like, really? It's like, what? You got to have excitement. If there was any other commentary team, they would get people excited that we saw a new Grand Champion, Impact Grand Champion crowned. They'd be like, Matt Sydal has done it, and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't have a problem with Jeremy Borash and Josh Matthews on commentary. I think they work well together. But it was just like, show some enthusiasm as far as, when a championship changed hands, not just, well, big congratulations to Matt Sydal for finally becoming Impact Grand Champion. It was like, what? No enthusiasm whatsoever. That was my only problem with that one. Let's see, what else? We had the Knockouts Championship on the line. Laurel Van Ness defended against Allie. This one has been building for a while now, and it came to a head last night as Laurel Van Ness and Allie really put on a very good matchup as well. Allie has really improved. Apparently the advice that Gail Kim gave her has been really helping her out. She has really she's really brought her best in all the matches she's been in, and last night was no exception. She did come close on a few occasions from becoming new Knockouts champion, but in the end it was Laurel Van Ness with a title belt shot to Allie that helped her once again remain Knockouts champion. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week, and the coming weeks, and see who is going to be next to step up to challenge Laurel Van Ness for that championship. We saw in a match that I thought was okay, not their best efforts, but it was pretty good in my opinion. It was Lashley versus Moose. Of course, Lashley had Dan Lambert and KM from America's Top Team in his corner. This one, another match that has been building up for months now. These two have been going at it for a while. Not one of their best matches, but, it was an okay match. The ending, however, was pretty exciting to see and hopefully puts an end to this storyline. Basically, it was, like I said, a pretty good match. It was an okay match, not one of their best matches. Moose picked up the victory over Lashley. Throughout the match, however, KM was trying to get Lashley to use a table that he had put in the ring, but Lashley was like, "No, I'm not using it. I'm gonna beat this guy fair and square." And then it was like, and that was pretty much what cost Lashley this matchup. Near the end of the match, KM got in the ring apron again, was like, "Come on, Lashley, what are you doing? Use the table." Knowing full well that the referee was right there, and if he would have used it, he would have got disqualified. And that's what caught Moose. That's what allowed Moose to push Lashley into KM and allowed him to hit his finisher on Lashley and pick up the 1, 2, 3. And basically, it was like and then Dan Lambert, after the match, started yelling at Lashley, "This is all your fault. This is, you're to blame for this." He pushed Lashley. KM tried to get involved, got in the middle. It was like trying to calm both Lashley and Dan Lambert down. Lashley pushed him out of the way, then hit a spear on KM, and then would throw Dan Lambert back into the ring where Moose was waiting. Moose got Dan Lambert, and then Moose set up the table in the ring in the corner, and Lashley hit a spear on Dan Lambert. So obviously that puts an end to that business partnership between Lashley and American Top Team. John Harden, I believe the guy's name is. He also got it from Moose as well as Lashley. But finally, we have hopefully seen the end of this. We've seen the end of the partnership between Lashley and American Top Team. Great climax, a great ending to that. After the match, finally Dan Lambert got what he deserved. And it came from Lashley. That's the best part about it. So that was pretty much it for that. They showed a match from Tokyo, Japan, where Taiji Ishimori defended the X Division Championship against Andrew Everett and was victorious. Nothing to say there. And then the main event was Eli Drake defending the Global Championship against Alberto El Patron and Johnny Impact in a steel cage match where if Alberto El Patron or Johnny Impact were not successful in becoming a global champion, then neither one of them would ever challenge Eli Drake for that championship again, which I liked that stipulation. I really thought that was a great idea because I'm probably like everybody else that is getting tired of seeing these three in some kind of way getting, in championship matches. This one I thought was actually pretty good as well. The ending was what you would expect from a championship match as far as, the finish. A couple of good spots in this match. One in particular was Eli Drake went to throw Johnny Impact into the cage and Johnny Impact parkoured and walked the cage, and then wound up taking down Eli Drake. Another big spot from Johnny Impact was he was looking like he was going to climb out, but then got on top of the cage and did a cross body block off the top of the cage. Alberto El Patron tried to hit that double stomp from the top of the cage onto Johnny, but missed. Like I said, it was a pretty good match. Good solid work by all three. But Eli Drake, once again, with the help of Chris Adonis, retained his Impact Global Championship when Eli Drake and Johnny Impact were climbing out of the cage on two separate sides, and Johnny Impact, he looked like he was going to win, but Adonis caught him and held him long enough from not touching the ground for Eli Drake to have both feet touch the floor and retain his championship. So that means that Johnny Impact and Alberto El Patron cannot challenge Eli Drake for that global championship again. So, but overall, like I said before, my overall thought on this episode last night was I thought it was actually a pretty good episode. If you guys did not see it, I recommend checking it out to judge for yourself. Hopefully, they continue. They did such a great job last night on last night's episode. Hopefully, they continue it week after week after week. Not have one good week and then the rest of the weeks are terrible. So, but we'll have to wait and see. So, with that being said, as I mentioned, if you guys watched last night's episode, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys not enjoy it? Let me know in the comments below. With that being said, this has been my review and my thoughts on last night's episode of Impact. I would probably give it maybe 3.5 out of 5 stars. So it was actually a pretty good episode. I cannot wait to see what happens next week. So with that being said, as always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.